Kingdom Animalia. Animals have several characteristics that set them apart from other living things. Animals are eukaryotic and multicellular. So where other kingdoms can have creatures that are comprised of just one cell, animals are going to have more than one cell. They are also heterotrophic. This means they cannot create their own food and must rely on other sources of nourishment. So they're going to eat other plants or animals. They're not going to be able to create their own food with sunlight like plants can. Animals do not have cell walls, but they may have an exoskeleton, which is like a hard skeleton they secrete onto the outside of their body, or a shell. Now, they don't have to have that. Obviously, we don't have a hard exoskeleton or a shell, but some animals like your crawfish or lobsters would have an exoskeleton, or things like snails have a shell. All animals are motile. This means they can move, even if only during certain stages of life. So some animals may only move a little bit or very slowly, but all animals are motile, even if it's just for a short period of time or during one stage of their life. Nearly all animals undergo some form of sexual reproduction, but some animals are also capable of asexual reproduction. And this is possibly, and a lot of times, through parthenogenesis, which is when a fertilized egg is produced without any mating, budding, or fragmentation. So it is possible, but most of the time the animals are going to undergo sexual reproduction to produce offspring. Animalia is also known as metazoa, as far as a kingdom name goes, and it is divided into the subkingdoms, parazoa, which consist of sponges and trichoplax. Sponges, I'm sure you can think of, but trichoplax kind of looks like a puddle you spilled on the floor. It's very flat, but it is still an animal. It does have differentiated cells. It even has some eye cells on it. So parazoa, such as the sponges and trichoplax, have differentiated cells but no distinct tissue or tissues or body symmetry. So they're kind of oddly shaped. Where most animals you would be able to see some symmetry, there is no symmetry as far as parazoa are concerned. Now, all other animals are put into the subkingdom Eumetazoa. And these have 2 or 3 distinct layers of cells with differentiated tissues and either radial or bilateral symmetry. And what that means is that you can divide them a certain way. If they have radial symmetry, you would be able to divide them any way going in a circle, and the halves would match up. So a jellyfish would be an example of that. If you divided the jellyfish here, if you could divide it across here, if you could divide it across here, going any way in a circle around the top of the jellyfish, down across the top and down through all the tentacles, if you cut it, it would be more of a circular shape, and anywhere you cut it, it would be the same on either side. So it's symmetrical. And it would have radial symmetry because there isn't just one symmetrical line you can cut along. There's not just one line of symmetry, there are several. The same goes with a starfish. You could cut it along a line going this way, 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 or a line going this way. If you go all along that circle, it can have symmetry. It can have all these different lines of symmetry, and what's on the other side of the line of symmetry is going to match what's on the first side of the line of symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, you can only divide the body in half one way. So people have bilateral symmetry. You can divide straight down from the top of your head to between your 2 feet, and the 2 halves should match up pretty well, at least as far as body type and tissues are concerned. So people have bilateral symmetry. You can divide straight down the middle and the halves should match up pretty well. Butterflies or moths are another example that should match up. Cats, dogs, a lot of animals display bilateral body symmetry. But there are some that have radial symmetry. But these are all eumetazoa. Remember, the parazoa is not going to have any kind of body symmetry because it doesn't have distinct tissues and it is not going to have a distinct body shape every time. It's going to be different. So whenever you are thinking about Kingdom Animalia, remember these certain characteristics that set them apart. They're eukaryotic and multicellular, made of more than one cell. They are heterotrophic. They cannot make their own food and must receive nourishment from other sources. They do not have cell walls, but may have an exoskeleton or a shell. And all animals are motile. They are able to move, at least at some stage in their life.